Hey, what's up, happy people? You're watching Builder Brian, and this is my backyard pond. We're gonna go over pond liners, filtration, as well as aquatic plants and animals. I hope you enjoy this one. This was a lot of hard work. Let's dive right into it. Okay, so let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about pond liners. I've experimented with a few different products, and the very first product that I experimented with was the rubber pond liner. You see it all over YouTube. People dig a hole, they shape different terraces, and they lay this pond liner down. And I do not like the rubber pond liner, I'll be honest. If you have gophers, if you have moles, they're gonna chew a hole right through that, and all that work that you put in to your pond is gonna be down the drain. Everyone across the country has gophers and moles. It doesn't matter where you live. And once you put that pond liner down, you're gonna put about, $4,000 worth of stone into your pond. And once you have a leak, you're never gonna know where that leak is coming from. You're gonna have to tear apart your whole pond. So I do not like rubber pond liners. So I formed and poured this whole setup here. This is all concrete. This was 3 different pours. First, I poured the slab, and then I poured the stem walls, and then I did this terracing. And if concrete ever gets a leak, you can patch it. That's why they make pools out of concrete versus pond liners. Pond liners are, cheaper. It's much faster to build ponds, and people get sold on it non-stop, but they're not a good product. And if you're spending, 30-40 grand on a pond, avoid the pond liners at all costs. So once I had this all formed and poured, I used a product called Cementol, and I applied it just like you would stucco on all the concrete. It's waterproof. I love it. I use it on all kinds of projects. Once I applied that, I used a concrete sealer called Neopond, sold by Amazon. And this product is garbage. I would not recommend this to anybody. On Amazon, it had wonderful reviews. Everybody talked about how easy it was to apply. The finished product, they all said, looked wonderful. It was horrible. I sealed the whole pond. I primed and sealed it. And about a week later, I noticed it started bubbling up. It started peeling like sunburnt skin. And any dirt that made contact with it was immediately a stain. You could not get it out just because of how rubbery the texture was. It was not a tough, smooth finish at all. And so what I had to do is I had to take the plants out, I had to take the fish out, I had to take the stone out. It was so much work. And I had to sand all of the bubbles off, pressure wash it, and after that I did my research and I found a new product called Pond Armor, sold by Home Depot. Pond Armor is a 2-part product. It's a hardener and a colorant, so it's an epoxy product. And after my experience with Neopond, I definitely wanted an epoxy. It took much longer to apply, but the finished results are exactly what I wanted. This is a product that's going to last. When applying it, you want to use a roller where you can, just because it will run if you use a brush. It took about 30 minutes to set up. You got to work fast. And once it sets up, you got to wait about 24 hours to apply a second coat. In between coats, you definitely want to sand everything, just so the second coat has something to grab to This stuff is so sleek that the second coat wouldn't have anything to grab unless you roughed it up and sanded it. I've had this product in my ponds for months now, and I have no complaints. It's easy to clean. It's got a really nice sheen to it, and it looks natural. It's just a earth tone that I love. So Pond Armor for the win. I would recommend this product to anybody. I love it. It's a great finish. It's holding up wonderfully. 5 stars. Next, we're going to be talking about water filtration. I have 3 different kinds of filters on this pond. I have a bog filter, I have a biological filter, and I have a physical filter. And we're going to cover all 3 of them in depth. So let's go ahead and start off with the bog filter. This bog filter, under this capstone here, what it is a planter. It's about 1.5 feet underground. And at the bottom of the planter, I have a Danner line drive pump. On top of the Danner line drive pump, I have several river rocks that allow water to pass through. So the water is coming up through the stone. On top of the stone, I have these cattails, and the cattails also are grabbing all sorts of microbes in the water, nitrogen, and they're purifying. And supposedly the stone in the bog filter provides bacteria with more surface area, and these bacteria break down the nitrogen. So the more surface area you can provide in your bog filter, the more bacteria you'll have. I had a pond with only a bog filter, and it worked initially, but it's not a long-term solution to clear water. I love it because it holds the cattail. It's a great way to have a waterfall running into your pond. But out of the 3 filters that I have, I'd have to say the bog filter is probably the least effective out of the 3, but I do love it. Next, let's talk about a biofilter. A biofilter is a filter that naturally breaks down all the nitrogen and ammonia in your pond. My biofilter is in the front underneath the water hyacinth, where you can see all the pebble. I believe a pond needs lots of dirt in it in order to break down all the funk that makes your water cloudy. Without this framework that I put in over the top of the dirt, whenever a fish swims by, it's going to kick up all kinds of sediment into the water, and your water is going to be permanently cloudy. There's nothing you can do about it without the framework. So I built this framework out of some PVC and some wire mesh, and it has been working wonderfully. I have no cloudy water, and I have all kinds of dirt that can break down all of the nitrogen and ammonia in this pond. We've talked about our bog filter, we've talked about our biofilter. Third and final filter is our physical filter. The pipe that sucks up all the water to our waterfall is at the very bottom of this pond. I encased that pipe in a box. The box is made out of PVC board. It's plastic, it's never gonna rot. It's been working beautifully. The only way water can pass through this box is through a return grate with foam in it. It's easier for me to show you than explain this one, and it's time to clean the filter. So I'll go ahead and do that with you now. All right, here I am in front of the physical filter, and it's time to replace the foam. I've got these tabs that I turn, 4 of them. And once these tabs are out of the way, I can remove this grate cover. And this is a return for AC that I purchased from Home Depot. And it came white. I spray painted it with boat paint. Primed it. Prime anything you can to ensure that paint sticks. And like I said, a spray can of boat paint. And no peeling whatsoever. Now I can take out the filter foam. It's definitely due for a changing. The filter foam is for aquariums. I purchased it off Amazon and cut it to size. It's about an inch thick. Lay this off to the side here. And here's our clean foam. Push this into place. And then we'll put our cover back on. And I've been changing these foam filter pads every other day. You could probably get away with longer, but I don't want to chance it, so I've been changing them pretty regularly. And you can see all the stuff that this has picked up. This physical filter is probably the best filter on this pond. A close second is the biofilter right here with all the pebble. But because of the foam, I don't have to worry about any fish getting sucked up into the Danner line drive pump. Keeps the fish safe, keeps the water clear. 2 thumbs up. I'm gonna go ahead and hose this off and put it in the garage where it can dry out. Okay, so let's talk about plants and animals. Let's start off with our lily pads. Lily pads do absolutely nothing for water purification. They just look nice, and I love them. Even though they're not a practical plant to have in your ponds, they are very aesthetic. They have flowers that bloom, and I shouldn't say they're completely impractical because fish and turtles love to eat them. It's a great hideout. Lily pads, great feature to have in your pond. Next plant is water hyacinth. Water hyacinth is amazing. It's a floating plant. At the base of the leaf, it's got these bulbs that are full of air that keep it from sinking. Below all the green, you've got several inches of roots that are just out there reaching, grabbing all kinds of nutrients out of the water, keeping your water clean. It's a great filter plant. Fish, turtles can eat it. It's a non-toxic plant. It's good for them, actually. Grows like crazy. I have underwater wires that keep it contained, and I'll prune it back from time to time. You can buy this plant online. Next plant, we've got this cattail. When you put a cattail in your ponds, especially in a bog filter, you want it directly on stone. You do not want dirt in your bog filter. That's going to cloud your water up. This cattail is sitting on nothing but river rock. And if I were to put a big cattail in here directly on river rock, I think it would slowly die, just because it takes time to acclimate to a new habitat. When I put this cattail in here, it was very, very small. I think I put about 5 different sprouts in the river rock. and it's adapted, and it's a very healthy plant that keeps this water clear. Same thing as the water hyacinth. It's got roots out there grabbing all sorts of particles in the water. This top terrace, I've ordered some water poppy. That's not going to do anything for water purification. It just looks nice. It's a nice happy plant. I think that's going to look really good. And we've covered plants. Let's talk about animals. I've got goldfish in here. I've got guppies. I've got platies, and I've got the suckerfish, plecos. The goldfish that I've put in here were 25-cent PetSmart fish, and when I got them, they were about 1 inch long. Now a couple of them are about 6-7 inches long. They're super cool, super colorful. A lot of people ask me, it's like, hey, are those koi? It's like, no, they're just goldfish. And I didn't want to put koi in this pond. I would much rather have a bunch of small fish versus a couple big ones. And you got to balance your plants, your filtration, and your animals, because if you put too many fish in here, you're not going to be able to process all of that nitrogen. So I avoided big fish and purposefully put a bunch of small fish in here. Next we got the guppies. The guppies are awesome. They hang out really high in the water column, super fun to watch. The platies, the plecos, they do a really good job of cleaning the walls, the floors, eating all of that excess algae. And next we've got our turtles. The turtles are the stars of the show. I love my turtles. They've got names. Feed them twice a day. I feed them little mealworms, shrimp, crickets. They eat the lily pads. They eat the water hyacinth. They get vitamins. They also eat algae that grows in the ponds. Here are some eastern painted turtles that I rescued from a customer of mine. I was in his backyard working on some steps, and I noticed this 12-gallon aquarium sitting on top of this picnic table. I was curious, looked inside, and I noticed these painted turtles just baking in the sun in this nasty water. Come to find out, they'd been in this aquarium for 7 years. I kindly asked the customer if I could keep them in this pond that I had just built, and he told me that his daughter was just too attached to him to give him up. 2 months later, this customer calls me up and he's like, hey, you still want those turtles? I was like, sure. I went and got 2 buckets and drove straight over to his house and picked them up. Here's the release. This is the biggest body of water these turtles have ever been in. And have a look at that water quality, people. That's some high quality H2O. I think that covers everything you need to know about a pond. I hope my experience has helped you. You can avoid some things that I had to go through with this experience. I hope you and your pond journey is successful. I know you'll enjoy it. I absolutely love this feature in my backyard. I come home from work and I just sit in my chair and relax, playing fetch with my dog, having a drink. Love this pond. Highly recommend that you have one in your backyard. And hopefully this has shown you everything you need to know. And don't hesitate to ask me a question in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out dramatically with this channel. That helps me get paid, and it helps me make more videos like this to help you and your projects. See you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.